did you do that? How did you do that? Did you think it was?
How you doing, people? Welcome to the stream. I am a little bit late. I had to get some stuff prepared and we've got no audio because we're going to play this. You probably can't hear that very well. Hopefully you can't because it's not supposed to drown me out. But there's some music in the background just in case, because otherwise this could be a fucking quiet stream. At least ambience anyway, because my voice is going to be taking over most of it. Quick disclaimer. There is a pinned comment. Shall I read the comment out? Because we have to do this for 45 patches now. We have to be very mindful of those that love to stage hijack. So, in a professional setting where a streamer is trying to read out loud in front of an audience, don't get ahead of me. It's great if you've read it already, but if your friend is taping the highlights of a fucking football game and you turn up and tell them the score, they're not going to like you very much. Same applies here. Do not get ahead of the streamer. You will be timed out. Now that that is out of the way, you can start acting like normal people again. Skellington, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm going to go backwards. Slayer, Pion Grim, Pauline, Savage, Skellington, Rav, CGI Shadows, Riansu, Tony Silver, Dijenku. Tony needs a shout out in the chat, by the way. If you haven't done it already, fix it. Tash, Lonely Girl, Shy Devil, King Nugget, Duff Kitty, Gravy, Dark Seraphina, Clown Prince, Sleggy, Olympian, Lena, and Fless. How you doing? Welcome in. And then on YouTube, we've got Funky Monkey and CGI Shadow, and here's a Ninja Button. Normal people know I'm not normal. The rules still apply regardless. No one has an excuse. Because it's there, it's pinned. It's pinned so I can get rid of all the shit people straight away, because I know that there's hashtag offended people out there. They're dismissive as fuck, and whatever you say, as clear as you can say it, they will still find a problem with it. So if I say, I'm live, don't get ahead of me, I'm the one reading this, they go, entitled. No, it's my stage. I'm reading it. Fuck off. Anyway, those people that are already going to get offended before I've even spoken can see that message, and because it says, disclaimer, do not get ahead of the streamer, they're going to instantly leave anyway. So that saves us a lot of hassle, and the mods don't have to work so fucking hard. Jesse, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Also, soup, sandwiches, and bar in a guild hall. Hopefully, yeah, indeed. Patch reading is difficult as fuck, especially when you got loads of stuff going on already. Especially when you got the fucking flu and you're trying to recover, and especially when you got shit canoes trying to get ahead of you, because some people do scour the internet trying to find places where they can become relevant, and one way to do that is to hijack people's stream chats. Now, there's a difference between talking about something that I'm already talking about, but if people go too far ahead, like, have you seen the DK changes? Yes. I'm getting there. Yeah, well, guess what? What do you think of that? No. Not what do you think of this? We'll get there. Don't worry. Why haven't you talked about insert thing here? Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. See, exactly that. P on Grim, that's exactly what I mean. That shit. Does it annoy you too, or is it just me? Is it just me that's the problem? Reverend, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Do you want Ninja Button? Rob, how you doing? Robert Miller on YouTube. Welcome in. Even Zion chat. How you doing? So this is going to be one of those streams where I read stuff and then explain stuff and then also try to say really awkward words like seclusa and exiled redoubt, which are very strange. They're small versions. You wait to get to the really big obscure words that they do on purpose just to make you confused, like Dwemer words and shit. Turtle Swatter and Shady McMilkman, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. 95 days in a row. Thank you very much. By the way, while we're here, the first part, the introductory part, the Conan servers are doing very well, to the point where now there are 3. They are 24/7 PvEVP, so roleplay PvP if you like. People are generally quite nice actually, but they have the option to fight if they want to. But bear in mind, if you fall asleep and you start dreaming of happy things while you just blew someone up while they were asleep, they're not going to get you. Anyway, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC all now have a server. Put Conan in the chat, you can read on the website what it's all about. There's also Arc as well. Blind Illusions, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. No, I don't read patch notes so I can have them explained by you, and then having it spoiled is not fun. It isn't fun. But just understand, people, if you have already read it, that's great for you. It's not good for the audience. They're going to hear this. Hello there. Mike, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I just did all the rules stuff. You know, like toxic people do, because that's apparently what I am. Toxic as fuck for having values and boundaries. How dare you? You horrible, horrible creator, you. Creators are the scum of the earth. Fuck off. Anyway, Mike needs a shout out in the chat. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online version 10.3.0. This PTS cycle is testing everything coming from update 45. My voice is going to struggle today, by the way. Along with a few items coming in the future updates. You can expect 2 brand new dungeons, new homes, new furnishings, and gear to earn, the new prologue quest, and several quality of life improvements. Thank you for the sub. Mind distortion. 42 months. Dragonborn also, thank you very much. Dragonborn. I'm never going to get through these patch notes. It's not a bad thing, I'm not complaining. Incentives is still there. If we hit the goal for subs and bits combined, I am still honoring the 10 pink torch bug giveaway. Did I do that right? You did, Mike. Fix your games OS, exactly. Additionally, there will be incremental combat changes and general bug fixes. The 2 new dungeons.
Listen!
Wanker says listen. How you doing, Wanker? Are called Exiled Redoubt and Lep Seclusa, or Seclusa, or Seclusa, however the fuck you want to say that. Explore some of the more broad implications of the 3 Banners War from story perspective, while offering new challenges to those of you up for the task. The prologue quest sees the resurgence of a once defeated foe in a worm cult wandering Tamriel once again. For quality of life, you'll see an overhaul of in-game map, green champion point star improvements, mount speed adjustments, and starter zone art refresh. Thank you for the follow, and welcome into the stream. So Teddy Tober said hello, motherfucker. just to name a few, there's also a new Crime Wave mini event type available for testing this week. There's a full list of the base game improvements listed for week 1 of PTS below. Bear in mind, PTS week 1 doesn't have the Cyrodiil stuff on it. PTS week 2 will do. There will also be additional announcements, improvements, and tests like Cyrodiil Champions, which is the new thing, highlighted in the later weeks, which I just said. If they get to week 2. Maybe they don't, but they've said later weeks, so that will actually cover just in case they don't make it next week. Oh well. So stay tuned for that. However, until then, we have a full list of everything available for testing and being fixed on update 45 listed below. We've transferred all PC NA characters yesterday and provided 2 character templates for those to use. We eagerly await your feedback. So if you don't know what that means, on the PTS, if you go to your launcher and you press the drop-down menus, you can download the PTS. It counts as like another server, basically, but you do it from the launcher itself. Currently, it's the NA transfer. So you can make brand new characters of no levels or all levels, up to you. But your characters that you currently have, if you're an NA player, those are the ones that are currently copied onto there. Don't forget, this is an important part, and it's in small print almost, but people need this in bright, luminous yellow, fucking bold. Follow the link here for the feedback threads and bug reports. Please fucking use that. Don't argue with people that argue back at your posts. It's irrelevant if someone argues with you. Fucking ignore them. Send this so Zos can see it. Anyone challenging that or arguing with it or wasting your time and theirs, just blank them. Unless you want a discussion with shit canoes. This is for Zos. Send them messages. Crime Wave equals Ninja better. Get building that. Dude, you should have built it again anyway. When they changed the stealth stuff, they already made the build completely fucking broken, and it already was. Anyway, overview of stuff. Fallen Banners content, base game content, loads and loads of stuff and things. Let's move on. So, Fallen Banners. 2 new dungeons. 2 new dungeons are available for testing during update 45, coming in week 1, which means it's available now. Which also I need to actually... I'll do it afterwards. I haven't downloaded the patch yet. Odin, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Exiled Redoubt is... The Albus family once staunch proponents of peace and finding a diplomatic end to the Free Banners War. Bollocks. Thank you for the sub. 50 months. You've been here a bloody long time, dude. Thank you very much indeed. We are going for sub goals and bits goals. If we hit them both, we're giving away 10 pink torch bugs. Just saying. Whatever caused their change of heart sparked a movement that seeks to punish every soldier, the generals that command them, and the heads of the alliances themselves. The Albus family's machinations. Is that how you say that word? Or machinations? Mashed potatoes. Started small, but their goal is total destruction. You are going to get some jokes in here, I'm afraid. I can't read this straight. It's not going to have a fucking chance in hell of doing it. The Three Banners War impacted lives even, across all Tamriel, and perhaps no one felt the impact more than the soldiers that fought and bled on the front lines. As the war dragged on, a growing number of veterans became disillusioned with constant fighting and sought a means to an end conflict. So this is, again, stuff that mashed potatoes, exactly. See, you got it. One person's going to reference exactly what I'm expecting. I'm still waiting for it. It's probably going to be DJ. One such individual is Orphean the Tactician, the former battlefield emperor of Cyrodiil. He broke from his chains of allegiance, Hazai ninjas. Rach, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. And recruited despondent deserters into a fearsome army. His goal is to seize an Elder Scroll said to have the power to end the bloodshed. It's a bit backwards. Anyway, all that stands in his way are a handful of monks and moth priests sworn to protect the scroll. So, in order to end the war, he's against everyone. Makes sense. Anyway, you've got 2 dungeons. One is in the West Weald near Grey's Hollow, and the other one is in the dock in Abba's Landing. Both dungeons include a normal version and a veteran version, and each dungeon features challenge and hard modes for each of their 3 boss encounters. So much like other stuff that we've had along the way. Ian, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Also, Mega Cup, by the way. Thank you for the Christmas present. It is awesome. Tony's using it at the moment. She's got Lemsip in it, and it's banging. Basically, the structure has been like this for a long time. 3 major bosses. It doesn't mean there aren't secrets and stuff in some of them, but 3 major bosses. And if you activate the hard mode for the first one, you can then go on to the next one. If you activate that one and you complete it, you can go on to the next one, and so on and so forth. But if you go all the way to the end and don't press any, you can't press the last one. There are unique items included, including 2 new Undaunted monster masks, only available within the dungeons. Those are Last Boss on Veteran, or dragged on. I thought it was still 5822E. No, not necessarily. We jump backwards and forwards in loads of different time zones, and we can revisit old stories or join the new ones. Elder Scrolls Online's got a license to write fucking any story. If you pay very close attention to the way that they've structured the lore itself, in the Elder Scrolls Online, we have the ability to see past, present, and future. They haven't completely extended on that, but that is already a thing. Only a matter of time before they actually say the words Dragon Tear, or Time Break, or Dragon Rip, or Dragon Break, or any of those words in any order. Yeah, I know, it gets confusing. There are unique item sets, including 2 new Undaunted monsters. I've read that one already. Unique achievements and rewards are available, obviously. A new skin, Tactician's Gold Lattice. Skin is available for those who complete both dungeons on at least veteran difficulty and trigger the achievement Fallen Banners Delver. So you need to do both dungeons on vet in order to get the skin. No hard mode, no speed run, no death, none of that. They were trying to find the balance for this for a long time, and Depths of Malatar was the first one where they really kind of stepped into that. They couldn't figure out for trials, dungeons, arenas, whatever, where the skin really belonged. Should it be hard mode? Should it be trifecta? Should it be this? Should it be that? And along the way, it's kind of jumped all over the place. VMOL was passing it. VHOF was passing it. VAS was hard mode, and they kind of jumped around all over the place. Depths of Malatar was very, very successful in that they offered a skin just for vet. And that is now, even today, one of the most watched videos on the channel. Not just because of its content, but because people look it up all the time because they want the reward, because it is accessible to them just by upping the difficulty and not worrying about all the rest of the achievements that are attached to it. So that was their happy medium for that. Along the way, they've kind of tried to figure out how to get people into the other dungeons that come with it as well, obviously because there's usually 2. And now they've kind of settled on, if you want the skin, do both. So the difficulty is still the same, but you need to do both dungeons, not just one. Even Zion Ninjas, patch notes, joy, fun. Yes. How you doing? 2 unique mementos, Haunted Mirror, which you can't see, and a unique die, which we also can't see, and several titles, which we don't care about until we can see them, and unique housing items again, which we don't care about until we can see them. That's not saying we don't give a shit. It's saying I can't see it there on paper, so we'll have to wait until we get into the game. Excuse me. Stuff like this is like, ooh, titles. Let's discuss. No, there's nothing to discuss. We can't see it. New homes. 2 new homes are available to test during the Update 45 PTS cycle. I believe they showed some of that on the previous live stream. So if you go to the Bethesda channel and look at their previous VODs, their Update 45 kind of announcement will show you some of that stuff. Excuse me. Shattered Mirror Isle is one of them. Castle Skingrad is the other. Loads of new furnishings, which I'm not going to go too much into because obviously while they tell you how to get them and all that kind of stuff, we can't actually see what they look like. So that's going to be a kind of player testable scenario. Go in, try and find them. Base game improvements, so map improvements. The team has been looking forward to ways to improve ESO's in-game map with the intention of making it easier to understand and pass, the proper term of the word, for both new players and veteran players alike. Did you notice that there's no target dummy involved there? While there are still more changes, we wish to implement future patches, packages even. The first batch of quality of life improvements include the following changes. The Tamriel view of the map will now only show 1 way shrine per zone. So if you zoom right out and it's cluttered in shit, it will only show the main one. If you zoom into that particular map section, then it will show you all the ones you've got. So for example, if you've got Gratwood right now and every single one of the way shrines is unlocked for you, and you zoom all the way out, you'll just see the center one, Elden Root. If you zoom right in, you will see all the ones that you have currently. So that's a bit of an example for that one. Clean on the outside, and then you can see all the stuff you've unlocked on the inside. The view of Tamriel map will now only show the favorited and primary homes. Yes, because obviously you've got that as well. So your primary home that you are using and the ones that you tick as your favorites rather than showing all of them on the map at once. Because some of them do get a little overlappy when they're a bit too close. Like that, yeah, it's pretty cool. Dungeons and Trials will no longer be shown by default on the Tamriel map, but can still be toggled on. Aha, feature to turn it on or off.
Chicken attack.
Chicken attack, thank you very much.
Chicken attack.
Question for the chat, actually, while we're doing this. Does a chicken float? That was a stream like two streams ago, don't ask. Watch the VOD. The Tamriel, Blackreach, and Urbis views of the map now have more crafted filter list. The Way Shrines filter has been split into the following. Way Shrines, Dungeons, Trials, and Houses, so you can toggle them on or off. And then if you have a focused quest, the quest ultimate location will now show on the Tamriel and Urbis map. If the ultimate location is on the ring, the location will be shown in the appropriate symbolic location like Clockwork City. So that's the stuff on the outside, the big ring, basically. No, but if you use ice cream, you can make root beer float. That's not the same question. Chicken floats if you inflate it. Good answer. You rubber chicken, does that count? Didn't consider that. You've had 2 nights to think about that. Well done. The name of the zone is a tamariel view of the map will now appear as you zoom in. And when hovering over a way shrine, the name of the zone will appear in the tooltip. Their goal, make things less cluttered so people are less confused. Obviously, if you've been playing for a very, very long time, you're probably used to it anyway, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Or maybe you do want the idea of it to be less all over the fucking place. But new players especially will have less overwhelming symbols all over the map that don't make any fucking sense. Converting disguises to collectibles. I'm not going to go over every single one of these, but there are disguises within the game that you will utilize for the sake of a quest. So there's one in Stonefalls, for example, where you turn into a goblin. There's one in one of the starting areas, actually. I think it might be Volcal Guard, where you dress up as a different minion of sorts. And then there's also one in the Elsewhere story and also Somerset, where you kind of sneak into a party and you're all dressed up. Costumes are now going to be things that you can keep as collectibles. So you'll be able to revisit them and reuse them as much as you want, rather than only using them for that purpose. So there's quite a few. Not going to go over them all now, but there's a few. And anyway, these are base game ones for now. Whether they're going to add the rest of them, who knows, but there's a lot. Antiquity leads messaging improvements. Now when you find a lead that is part of an antiquity, the final antiquity name is listed. So instead of picking up all the little pieces and getting confused as to what it belongs to, it will now fucking tell you. When map is so cluttered. Yeah, if you've been playing for a long time, it will be. Now, this is very important, especially for new players and new characters. If you have had that issue where you have a brand new horse, your mum's map is so cluttered, how do you know? Anyway, you started the game, new character, your horse is slow as fuck. Increase the base movement speed of horses or mounts by 42% up from 15. So now when you start the game, you're a lot faster. Brand new horse on a brand new character, or brand new character with a horse, you're quicker. That's a significant increase. Major Gallop is now Gallop, and it counts as a minor buff instead of a major buff. The multiplicative bonuses of Gallop is now 15 instead of 30. So while Major Gallop is technically slower, it will stack very, very healthily alongside your already inflated speed buff. So Gallop and your speed will be faster, but, well, roughly the same as what you were before, but your starting amount is higher. So if you have Major Gallop, great, you've got a bit of a bonus. If you don't have it, you're still fast. Where you have a Lawn Mike, only have Lawn Gnome. I need to get up my game. It's good, I never know what's bits for antiquity. I need to get... I never know what bits for antiquity I need or have got already. Yeah, it's really, really good. Do you like the quality of life improvements? It's interesting how many little nitpicky things we didn't know were annoying, or hadn't mentioned that were annoying, or just kind of fly over as an everyday, yeah, we all do that. And stuff like this does actually help a lot. Due to the way the bonus multiplies the base speed, this ends up being no change for fully trained mounts, or very slight buff if you're also using the Gifted Rider Champion Star. So there's one that increases your movement speed for mounts. See below for more details. So, here are the percentage changes different votes can expect to see as a percentage change from prior to speed. So, sprint on a brand new mount was 19% plus. Sprint on a trained mount was 13% plus. Sprint on a new mount plus gallop is 5%. Sprint on a trained mount with no gallop is no change. So, sprint on a trained mount with gallop and gifted rider is plus 1%. There are minor increases to the later end of it as you go, not all the way at the end. But up front, it's much, much faster. Trying to build the 1-bar warden you suggested yesterday, and I cannot get the rune carver pieces from the dungeon. Not 1-bar, I meant Infinite Archive 1. You will get them, don't worry. Keep going. Liana, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much indeed for the bits. Massively appreciated. What about sprint on toy mounts? Fuck knows. Obviously it doesn't say that. You'll have to ask them. Hi there, ninjas. Hope you're doing well. Nice patch notes. That's always exciting. It is exciting as long as people don't get ahead of me, because those people get timed out. I've got a pinned message just in case the fun police come in. It's like security at the door already. Craft green. Crafted green champion point star improvement. So, I'm never going to say this properly. So, we're going to go for the deconstruction perk. Yeah. Plentiful harvest, treasure hunter, rationer, liquid efficiency, homemaker, professional upkeep, infamous, and cut purse art. These adjustments make it easier and more forgiving to engage with the crafting tree and reduces the need to swap stars before specific activities. No more forgetting to slot meticulous disassembly. I said I wasn't going to say it. Before a big batch of resource refining. Let me go backwards so this makes more sense for you. Following 9 crafted slottables are no longer slottables. They are all passives. So if you've unlocked it and you spent points in it, you're done. Larry on YouTube, by the way, it's quite simple. You have a sticker book, and every time you get a weapon or a piece of jewelry or a piece of armor, bind it. That will be in your sticker book forever. You can recraft it whenever you want, but you'll never get that item again until that particular section of that item is full. So if you go for treasure chests, trash, and the last boss, those are your weapons and jewelry. Obviously, other stuff can drop from trash and chests, but that's the 3 ways to get the most important parts out of the way. The other stuff is inevitable. You're going to get it done in like 3 fucking runs. Just a quick ask, is Hisskeeper still viable in Gold Road? Yes, it is. Beautiful. Yeah, it's pretty good. Even Zion Ninjas, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Increase Mundus Stone visibility on character and inventory UI screens. We want to better convey the value of having a Mundus Stone boon and where to find Mundus Stones. To the end, we have added a reminder about Mundus Stones at level 10. Thank you very much for doing that just after I've released my level up video. Now wait for the hindsight, please, to go straight to my video, which I released last week, saying, hey, why didn't you add Mundus Stone to your video? Hey, why are you looking it up if you already fucking know? Glad we got that out of the way. Update the Mundus Stone. Help entry to be clearer and more direct about you. Direct about you where to find. And more direct about you where to find them. Let me read that again. Updated the Mundus Stone. Help entry to be clearer and more direct about you where to find them. I did read it right. That's all kafucked. Locking doesn't have anything to do with what you get. No, locking doesn't. Binding does. Mundus Maximo. Basically, yeah. Added discrete sections of Mundus Stone boons on both the character and inventory UI screens. If you reach level 20 without an active Mundus Stone, the text here turns red to suggest you should acquire one. So if you don't know anything about Mundus Stones, you go all the way to level 50, you're like, what the fuck is one of these? That won't happen anymore. You'll get told at level 10, you'll be reminded at level 20, and if you still don't pay attention to it, you don't deserve your afters. Somebody got Samsunged. I think they did. Should we read it again, just in case I'm completely fucked? Ready? There's no commas, and there's no full stops, periods, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Updated the Mundus Stone help entry to be clearer and more direct about you where to find them. I'm supposed to face typo. I'm the one with the fucking flu, reading text with big words that make no fucking sense to me. And look what you did. Couldn't even do the easy stuff, could you, Zos? Fix your text. Someone didn't grab and check that one. A little bit off that one. Check questions. Will you make your... Check questions? You mean quick question? Will you make your add-on for console 2? We'll have to wait and see. So we're not going too far ahead of that because obviously we're not at that point in time on this particular patch reading just yet. But since that is the subject matter, if that is one of the ones that is allowed via the API, because obviously they're going to limit it, yes. If you get halfway through a vet trial without a Mundus Stone, hopefully your character glows flashing red so everyone can point and laugh. Maybe it's just like your character sits down like this and your face goes red, 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 red. So you're embarrassed as fuck because you're the noob that didn't bring one. You didn't bring a Mundus Stone. Kick him. They should do it. The mistake is familiar. Lost track of a sentence in the middle. Right? Imagine losing your track of your mindset mid-sent. Done that? Mundus Stones are for the week. The whole week. Where are we? Prologue quest. A Gilding Crisis. Join forces with Prince Azar of Sentinel to confront the ominous resurgence of the worm cult. So this is to do with, obviously, your main story stuff tied to the 2 dungeons. I'm not going to go into that too much because that is stuff that you can read on your own. And I'm just going to fucking mess it up. And I can't mess up words too much after this based on me taking the piss out of this grammatical backflip of shit. Whatever this was. This one is fun. Hey, Zion Ninjas. Miss Brick, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Weak is relative. Your mum is relative. No shit. Apparently so. Ninja button. Player response options. A new way to engage in conversations with story NPCs. There are now opportunities in some quests that provide a choice as to how you want to roleplay your character, known as player response options. Please don't call it that in game, for fuck's sake. If there's a, imagine trying to roleplay really hard. Like, I am Sun in Shadows. I'm a prick. She is horrible. She's a fucking horrible prick. I can't stand her. Yeah, oh, I'm gonna pick this setting, and it says player response options. Imagine her saying it in her own voice. That needs to go away. Just give us a list. Don't say what it is, because it breaks character. While these options usually provide role-playing choices on how to respond to characters and alter their responses, they can sometimes alter the course of the quest in unexpected ways. So, twist in the quest. Pros, right? Player responses options display a special icon with dialogue choices available. Here are the types of dialogue choices you may encounter in addition to the usual neutral voice response. They did it! They did it without the label. Give it different ones. Kind, grim, merciful, ruthless, joker, and flirty. What about dickhead? Disagree. Broken character completely. Sun and Shadows needs a dickhead section. This here... Isn't it a point of view? I mean, who's to say that is really grim? Dark, stern, sarcastic, or harsh response. That might be your happy face. Fucking nonce. You can't put nonce. A vengeful response to an NPC in dire circumstances is ruthless. No. No, not at all. That dire circumstance that he's in might be perfectly valid. He might nearly be dying with yesterday's curry leaking out of his ears. But in order for him to go through that, you might save the world. So, sorry, curry ears. It's not ruthless. It was kind, actually, because we saved everybody else. Had a glitch the other day when my Mundus would disappear, so I had to equip every time I logged in. Was it a glitch? I mean, first of all, report it to ZOS. Obviously, there's nothing I can do about it, but just humour this for a second. Was it a glitch, or did you switch builds in the armory? Because if you didn't save your Mundus on that particular build, obviously it won't be there. As long as I have an option to yell at High Elves, something along those lines of, die you filthy, disgusting, foul-more pasty. Patsy, he said. I'll be happy. Dude, I like pasty better. Die you filthy, disgusting, foul-more pasty. I'm going to love that. Especially Sun and Shadows. Fuck me. Reaper Strikes, the new worm cult themed encounters. Ooh. Encounters. No, it was a glitch. May sorted itself out in the end. It sounds like it sounds now. Okay, fair enough. Well, report it anyway. If you can find out exactly what happened, report the process, because then they can try and copy it and then fix it. Greg Special. Imagine that. High Elf Pasty. I mean, it's a bit weird. But then the small elves eat each other, so... I mean, bigger ones just get bigger pies, right? Oh, God. It's gonna fucking landslide. Foulmore Pasty, delicious Cornish High Elf. See, exactly. With potatoes. We're never getting through these fucking patch notes. Strange new devices, known as Soul Reapers, have begun to surface across Tamriel, coinciding with the resurgence of the Worm Cult. Engage in these events to rescue their sacrifices and thwart the Worm Cult's growing threat. Successfully completing Reaper Strikes will unlock the ability to purchase a unique furnishing... Sorry, a unique furnishing from the... Did I mean a unique furnishing item? Anyway, from the achievement vendor and collect fragments to acquire a new skill style. Ooh. So they need to add more stuff to that over time, because if it's only to get one skill style, people are going to stop doing this after they've got it. Board and mash and stick them to do. Someone got there eventually. I thought you were going to do that earlier. Narrator, and that was the exact moment that the chat went off the rails. 100%. Keep an eye out for these Reaper Strikes and locations where dark fissures once appeared throughout the base game of Tamriel. Fair enough. Excuse me. Surprisingly not made certain races allergic to certain foods. That's quite funny, actually. Subzai, have a good patch note reading. Ghost Angel, you're a legend. Thank you very much for joining. Much appreciated. Event Crive... Crive? Read that wrong. Cheese and Crive. Event Crime Wave Mini Event. The secret ingredient is indeed crime in this new mini event, added to the pool of possible surprise events starting with Update 45. Crime Wave focuses on criminal behavior in Tamriel, naturally, and provides a handful of devious rewards. During the event, a number of daily fence interactions increases by 100%. Finally! And fencing is 25% more profitable. That is item sold to a fence. Yeah. We get that. We know what it means. Additionally, Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild daily quests will provide additional boxes of their normal rewards, except the infinite repeatable ones from Curry's Tipboard and and it's marked Death Book. So, it's not perfect, but they're doubling the amount that you can sell shit to defense. I don't mean money, I mean items. So, bring on the ninja build. Put exclamation point ninja in the chat. Tell your friends I was there fucking first. Stephen, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Furthermore, the activities of pickpocketing, theft from safe boxes, looting, thieves' troves have a chance of dropping a pouch of ill-gotten goods. The pouches can contain sellable contraband, furnishing, Dark Brotherhood, or Thieves Guild consumables, a new consumable item to improve your legerdemain skill. Is it legerdemain or legerdemain? How do you say it, Mike? How do you say it? No, how does the world say it? He's going to put the word in there just exactly the same as it's said, so then everyone says it the same way as they want to anyway. And a very small... Legerdemain. Sound French. It is French. A very small chance to find a 1 million gold bounty pardon for you extra careless or uncaring criminals. What? Because it is French. That was a joke. Mike is now going to give you the definition of sarcasm and facetiousness, and stop doing that, you annoying twats, Ignis. So there is a possibility of you getting a pardon for 1 million gold. I don't want it. I mean, I'll take it, but I don't want it. If I'm going for 1 million gold bounty, I want to keep it for flex reasons. Memories of Dad's Army, you got it. Can we sell it? I don't know, DJ. Where does it say, hang on, DJ asked a question that wasn't answered? How am I going to know that? Probably not. If you could sell it, how much would you sell it for? Because if you sell it for 1 million, you're a genius and the person who bought it is a fucking idiot. We'll see, won't we? Here's a way to look at it. Can you sell the ones you have already? That should answer your question. Hopefully. Wine's back arm to slap DJ upside the head hard. That's the way I read it, Mike. I know that you said different words in a different order, but that's the way I read it. Your chance of finding a pouch of ill-gotten goods is proportional to your current level of bounty and heat. That is, an upstanding citizen has a very low chance of getting one, but a fugitive on the run has a much better chance of getting one. So kill everyone, steal everything, and then get extra loot. There are no event tickets or bespoke quests for this event. Good. You needn't budget your playtime or behavior around chasing any fragments for this one, so enjoy it while it lasts. It is a temporary event. However, no fucking tickets. Good. I will openly state, I fucking hate them. Not because they're not useful, not because you don't get cool stuff, but because it's a system that has unfortunately forced people to feel very, very fatigued, having too many events and the same old shit coming out. This is cool. For high Eld pasties. Eldog, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Needless to say, while I do enjoy some of the events like Jess's Festival, New Life Festival, Undaunted, and of course, Mid-Year Mayhem, fucking hell, Witches Festival, I'm going to stop there. There's too many other events. Way too many. Having events is kind of the point of looking forward to one, not have one and in the second it finishes have another one, because it's not an event anymore, is it? It's just a rolling, you need to get online every single day or else you lose a ticket. That, I'm sure they're fully aware of, has got very tiring and is half the reason people log on less than they would normally. That doesn't mean that the game is by any stretch of the imagination fucking dying. It's still incredibly busy, but people put less hours in because they feel exhausted by doing constant fucking events.
Hello, motherfucker.
So, spread them out a bit more, cut some of them off, keep the popular ones, and add more of this shit. This is kind of there. Yeah, we got it. We understand. That's a cool idea. It's a very cool idea. And very unique at that. And giving us an excuse to finally take advantage of the one thing that people play Elder Scrolls Online's for. And no, it's not chasing squirrels into a cave. It is sneaking around, nicking stuff, and stabbing people in the back when they're not looking. That's it. I know you like being a wizard muchly, but everyone loves to sneak and steal stuff. Juno Rex, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Best way to play? Exactly. Everyone does it. As soon as you start the game, you're like, oh, I've got no money. I'm going to be nice. I'll be nice when I grow up. I'm going to steal that and kill him and steal that and steal that. Right, good. I've got a sword. I've got 10 gold and 3 potatoes. Let's find a world boss. Now you can get more potatoes. First stages of console add-on support. Listen to this. In preparation. That is a very key word there, by the way. in preparation of console add-on support coming later this year, we are testing a few preemptive measures during this update 45 PTS to ensure add-on developers have the tools they need when working to support their add-ons for console players. There will now be gamepad version of the add-on manager. So when you go into your options, there isn't an option for add-ons if you're in gamepad mode. You have to press escape and you have to go into the sections there. First stage, they're adding it to the menu. I thought everyone played with a Nordic Bavis towel. No, only the people that think they're cool do. Like, hey, if you join our trial group, grab the Bavis towel because it looks OP. It doesn't look OP. It looks like a fucking bin bag. It doesn't even look like a towel. I'm sorry, Zus, but it doesn't. Sell a potato on the traders for 1 million gold. That's what gold sellers do. That's how they hide their transactions. Because if it was trade for trade, then they'd be able to see it in the logs. If it's a trade on the market, you have to make up an excuse as to why it's there, and it's just too long and they can't prove it. Loot viewer, we get to peek at Zai's bags. You fuck off, get your own bags. Even on consoles. Do you know how many people I'm going to tell to fuck off if that add-on lands on console? Is there an NPC support group for therapy there going to need it? They are going to need it. Let me read the rest of this. The new user setting.txt entry will allow add-on developers to place the game into console mode. This will prevent loading any keyboard PC-specific files and fonts, load console-only files, and expose new console-specific APIs. The main purpose of this is to allow add-on developers a way to develop and test console add-ons without needing a console. So it's effectively into console mode. Short spoiler, I did mention this earlier. Obviously, if the API allows it and if this can be done, which is likely to be able to do because it's only a font change and a couple other things here and there, although that is a lot for Kuki to do, the intention is to have all about mechanics on console, which means, yes, you'll be able to actually click on the little world symbol next to the boss just in case you wanted to go to the video and or the website, and it will come up on your console as well. It will be in-game and it will be accessible as an extra window if you click it. That's already a thing on PC, but on console that will be a thing as well if it goes through properly. Again, you have to wait until whenever the fuck they decide to release that, but it's in the year. With this, developers can get a jump on creating and testing console add-ons so that when the feature proper... I'm sorry, did you get someone out of a fucking London pub to do this today? With this, developers can jump on creating and testing console add-ons so that when the feature proper goes live, they'll be able to upload them right away. I have no problem with you demonstrating that level of vocabulary. That's brilliant. I understand it perfectly, but you don't speak like that when the feature proper goes live, yeah? 1,000 bits from Juno Rex. Thank you very much. Finally get minimap. Yeah, I'm going to be using that, obviously. I would destroy that item if someone demands an item. Yeah, me too. I do it on PC. As soon as someone leaks into my bags, I'm like, I want that. No, tough, it's mine. Well, I want it. No, you can't have it. Well, I saw you get it. You did. You nosy bastard. Delete. If I get to the end of a dungeon or trial and I say, who wants this? And someone goes, me. Fair enough. But if someone goes, oi, I saw you picked that up. I want it. Tough shit, mate. Stop snooping. Proper fucked. Proper live. Cockney spell check. Indeed. Please note that console add-on support will only be for current generation consoles as they can support the memory limitation needed. So obviously technology changes all the time. We're going forward, not backwards, and they are going to make it for current generation, as in PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, not the ones that were out more than 10 years ago. So the game will still function on them, but the add-on support will not be for those platforms. Get the fuck out if you want my shit. I will offer what I want to offer. Correct. And I do the same. If I don't need it, and I think the group might need it, or even if they say, hi guys, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, and I look in my bag and I go, ooh, I've got that. I don't need it. You can have it. Perfectly fine. I won't charge you a single fucking gold for it. You can have it. But if someone sees me loot something and jumps down my fucking throat to get in my bag, fuck off. There should be a push off cliff button. But unfortunately, there isn't. Right. Known issues. Cyrodiil containers for Oak Feathers Retribution, Blunted Blades, and Barndar's Blessing. I originally read that as Barndoors. Are currently showing the wrong item set tooltips. Good. But it's my precious. It's not unless I give it to you. Looking for whatever you got. Keep looking. Right. This is the part where people can't get ahead of me. The chat has been very good today, But if anyone tries to get ahead of me because they've read this already, you will be timed out. I don't care if you're offended. I don't care if you've been watching for 10 years. You haven't been because I've been doing this for 8. But I don't care if you've been watching for 10 years. You will be timed out. The rule applies to everyone. So don't get ahead of me. We'll all have fun. We won't. I'll hate it. Bag check where the items are written in white. Hammer time? Indeed. It's about respect, people, and letting the streamer read the words they're trying to read. It's kind of part of it. We can talk about it when we're there. It takes too much to pay attention to my own bags. Fair. Anyway, crouch. When successfully transitioned from detect to hidden after crouching, the effect that considers you in a sneak state is now visible on your effects bar. This effect can be hovered over in the character sheet to read what sneak does, rather than needing to open up the help tab and search for what it does. This is one of the few times that improved visibility isn't a detriment to your sneaking about. Fixed an issue where some channeled abilities could be used while crouching without cancelling crouch, and the following abilities will now actively remove stealth and invisibility upon activating them, rather than when they were complete. Stone Fist, Stone Giant's initial cast time, Crystal Shard and Crystal Frags, Deathstroke and Morphs, Soul Shred and Soul Tether, Radial Sweeps and Morphs, so Puncturing Sweeps, Jabs, whatever, Solar Flare and Dark Flare, Abyssal Impact and Morphs, Berserk and Strike and Morphs, all variants of Smash, Lacerate, Dawnbreaker, all variants of Trample, Inferno Staff and Ice Staff heavy attacks. Again, you could wind them up while sneaking. You could cast them where their channel would start while sneaking, and it wouldn't actually demonstrate you out of sneak until they were over. Now, as soon as you press it, you're spotted. Hello, Zion Ninja. Skittlebot, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I need to plug my charger in because my headset is dying. Hold on. Fucking thing. Gonna take an add-on to hide bags from everyone, including me. Proper hard mode. Proper. What did he say here? When the feature proper goes live. Fixed an issue where the following abilities didn't influence tooltips related to her effects. So Fiery Banner and Rapid Rot. Now, the following effects have been hard-coded to be easier and quicker to calculate, resulting in some minor adjustments in order of operations in combat calculations. Proper fucked. The 10% damage hard-coded to make them easy to calculate. The 10% damage reduction all player characters have. The 70% increased damage done with heavy attacks against off-balance targets. Developer comment. We need to read this because they haven't been 100% clear on that one. This change is mainly being done for performance reasons, to make it ever so slightly harder to reach the effect limit while simultaneously reducing the weight of combat calculations slightly. In doing so, those percent bonuses will interact slightly differently with the other effects, as they will now be bundled with other hard-coded bonuses that the server handles. So again, Cody stuff telling us that they're making it better for that end. Most notably, the 10% reduced damage taken effect will become slightly stronger than before. Since we recently fixed other damage taken effects from being additive, resulting in a loss of damage reduction, we're less concerned with this increase in effectiveness. So there were issues with mitigation bonuses and all that kind of stuff where some are supposed to be multiplicative, well, they're supposed to be multiplicative anyway, and some were not, some were adding on top, and you could get to over 100% and all this kind of shit. Those have now been fixed, so they're standardized and make more sense. And then the flat bonus that we get to damage mitigation as it stands is ever so slightly higher. So the two kind of line up in the middle, technically making you ever so slightly stronger at base, but they're not too worried about it because they're happy that everything else is in a decent spot. Class stuff. Wait, did they pay Mike to write some of these notes just to mess with you when you read them? Yeah, pretty much. I think he did. Exactly what happened. Takes too much. Oh, I read that one already. Dragon Knight, Ardent Flame, Warmth. Fixed an issue where the passive visual effect could become stuck on targets. You've all seen that. It's where they are basically on fire forever. Sorcerer. See that? Look at this. Oh, I bet they nerfed the DK. No, they fixed the visual. Next. Sorcerer, Dark Magic, Crystal Weapon. Fixed a rare issue where activating this ability could sometimes prevent you from interacting with objects via the interact prompt after leaving combat while it was active. Fixed. In case, fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs would often miss larger targets such as St. Ohms or Teleria. Fixed. So, Daedric Summoning. Summon Storm Atronach. Fixed an issue where the damage caused by the impact of this ultimate and its morphs were not considered pet damage. Fixes. Dual Wield. Fixed an edge case issue where sometimes the passive of this resulted in higher weapon and spell damage than intended. another fix. Scribing. Banner Bearer. Fix an issue where the following script effects could be removed from the caster of the ability when an ally under the influence of the ability left the area. Immobilize, Focus, Cavalier's Charge Signature, Class Mastery Signature, Wayfarer's Mastery Signature, Brutality and Sorcery affix, and Savagery and Prophecy affix. Fixed a bug where the wrong sound effect was playing for group members entering or the ability AoE. So, the class changes are fixes. Visual fixes. And some slight damage fixes, not in higher or lower situations, just doing what they should be doing. So before you get the nerf police chasing you saying everything's ruined, no, it's not. Waiting for that bet they nerf the Arcanist post. Still getting old. Anyway, new stuff. The following items are, no, not new stuff. The following sets have been adjusted to their stat line bonuses to grant stats more applicable to their 5-piece effects in gameplay. You'll like some of this. Yes, I've already read some of this because we were kind of prompted some of the information early. It's a new thing, and no, you won't find out stuff early from me. That's just something that we did get loaded with, so we're ready for this shit. Anyway, Unleashed Ritual. 2-piece is 1k Magicka changed to weapon and spell damage. Magicka changed to crit chance. Magicka changed to weapon and spell damage. So that one is extra pet damage. Like, was it 14 or 16%? I can't remember exactly. I think it's irrelevant at this point in time. It's on the Lich build anyway. Or is it? Lich or Cultist? Cultist. It's on Cultist, isn't it? I don't fucking remember. It's on one of my Necro builds. Anyway, they've changed it. So instead of magic, you now get extra damage and extra crit chance, so your pets will hit harder rather than just relying on that one resource. Because that one resource doesn't make or break the pet. Because you could have a stamina setup, which means your pets would benefit from your highest resource. But this set forces you to choose Magicka. Now you don't have to be forced to use that, and you can use it on anything. That's the point of that adjustment. If you look in the beginner series on my channel called How to Get Good, there is a video there with Mag versus Stam that will help you underline or understand better how they have changed stats recently in the last couple of years and how the Mag versus Stam is basically dead. It's now a case of whichever one you favor, because everything will work in some way or another because your highest offensive stats are the ones that contribute, not Magicka or Stam directly. Which means there are some skills in the game that are unique to that, but generally speaking, the standardized overall is weapon or spell damage, Magicka or stamina. It's not, you've got pets, you need Magicka. It doesn't exist anymore. So to support that, they've altered that set to allow it to work or feel functional or impactful for both types. Reliquin. Crit chance has been changed to weapon and spell damage. That will enhance the strength of the proc. The reason they've done that is because the fucking set can't crit. Again, crit chance, taking that away, more pen. Now, for builds that are crit heavy, that do rely on those 2 crit bonuses, obviously that's going to feel somewhat impactful because you're losing a 6% crit bonus there. But you are now going to get more flat damage and more penetration, both of which support the proc. And perfected, instead of being stamina, tying you into, although you can use it on any type of build, tying you into that resource only. They've now called it weapon and spell damage, so either resource is fine. Again, it's a balancing issue that they had to kind of underline, where some sets were still predominantly stamina, some were still predominantly Magicka, when the actual bonuses on the 5-piece bonus was scaling off of offensive stats, not one particular one. So again, stamina is off that set, Magicka is off that set, crit is off it because it can't crit, and now it's more about boosting the whole set, not just your stats. Mark JPVVA, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I only need nice stuff for Rune Carver now. Get it done, dude. Destructive Mage, again, Magicka has been changed to weapon and spell damage because the whole set is just weapon and spell damage, I think a crit bonus and then the proc. This Magicka thing ties it to magic only. It's now redundant. This is more important. Excuse me. Way of Fire is actually a fire proc, which again can scale off of offensive stats. Having stamina on it only doesn't make any fucking sense, so they've moved it to health to make it more chunky because it's a heavy set, but at the same time you can still benefit from either resource type. Wolfman, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Poisonous Serpent, you're gonna like this one. Not just focused on stamina anymore, so weapon and spell damage. Not just focused on stamina anymore, so crit chance. Yes, the proc can crit. And we're taking a light sweep through a handful of sets this update to improve their stat lines to better reflect their centerpiece effects, gameplay requirements, and scaling. Like I just said, that is why they're doing it. Obviously, there's a lot more sets in the game that do actually have this same issue, but this is their first step into standardizing how gear stats work. Now, that being said, they're going to have some issues when it comes to Hunden's Rage and Juliana's if they want to follow that, but they might not. They might just have them as, if you want to inflate Magicka, go this way. If you want to inflate Stamina, go this way. And both of them equal the same amount. So stuff like that might get untouched. But other things where it's a proc that does damage based off of offensive, the main stat base is probably going to disappear. Or you'll have like half of both, but we'll see what they do with it. Anyway, we plan on doing small passes like this over time as well, so this does not include every set we'd like to adjust. As I just said, this is the first step. This was also slightly altered. I think the 5-piece was altered. We'll get to that in a minute. It's like Pyrite. Sure. Look like Big Buddha Boom might get slight adjustment. Maybe. Maybe. Who said ninjas? Mark, Wolfman, and of course Buddha. Buddha needs a shout out if he hasn't already. Crafted sets, Talvani efficiency. Fix an issue where the cost reduction bonus from the set was additive rather than multiplicative. I missed this one. Hunt leader. Fix an issue where the set did not trigger off the following sources of pet damage. Unfamiliar and volatile familiar. Unstable and volatile familiar. Imagine unfamiliar familiar. Damage pulse was active. Summon, storm, atro, and morphs impact damage. So this set is supposed to work with Sork pets, but it wasn't, apart from the budgie. Dungeon sets. Abyssal Embrace. And Bizzle Brace even. Fix an issue where the visuals of the set would disappear if the group member left the area while it was active. Zerblight. Fix the issue where the damage from this set was treated as single target damage, so deadly strikes would affect it or whatever. Not deadly strikes. Deadly aim. When it's not supposed to. Rather than area of effect, which is biting aura. So what people were doing is pumping loads of points into deadly aim, having loads and loads of single target stuff while having a Zerblight on and getting extra bonuses out of not even doing any extra AoE damage. Now you'll actually have to slot the correct champion point slottable in order to benefit from it. Anyway, how exactly will the seasons work for you know? Nope, don't know. We find out that in April. Unleash Ritualist. Now the set increases your damage done with your summoned pets at all times, rather than causing your damage to mark enemies to take increased damage for pets for 10 seconds. That is actually a bit of a game changer, because before you would have to mark a target, which meant you'd have to mark multiples in order for your pets to do damage to those. Now it's just full stop extra pet damage, which means all targets that you hit will get hit harder. So that is a much, much easier to apply scenario for your pets and will definitely make them stronger full out. Fix an issue with, unless it's a single target fight, in which case you'll see no difference. Fix an issue where this set did not work with the following source of pet damage: unstable familiar and volatile familiars. Damage pulse activation. So the initial activate wasn't working and now it is. So on the Lich or Cultist build, I think it's the Lich actually where this is being used, you no longer have to figure out which target is marked, you just fire. Monster Masks, Baron Thrisk. Fixed an issue where the visuals for this set would sometimes fail to play. That's the Scamp one, I think. Overland sets, where fire the set now only activates off of lights and heavies rather than a weapon attack. We're toning down how much damage this set can passively deal by preventing it from activating off residual abilities in hopes to make it less oppressive in PvP environments. By that they mean they are allowing it to have a global cooldown. So light attacks and heavy attacks do have their own individual cooldowns. They are separate to each individual weapon, but arguably it's around 700 milliseconds for a light and just short of a second for a heavy, depending on what it is. Some are slightly under, some slightly over. That means that there is a clear gap per proc. Thank you, Whitewood, much appreciated. Bit and cake in the chat, people. Thank you very much indeed. When it was a weapon skill proc, the problem is if you've got overlapping dots and all that kind of stuff, that can be an issue and they can fire way too fast. It's supposed to be per second, but now they're trying to manually control it by having lights and heavies only. Shared Pain adjusted the sound effects for this set to reduce the amount of noise generated when frequently activated. Have you considered doing that for the banner? Tracker's Lash adjusted the volume of the persistent audio so it is quieter. Okay. Trials. Poisonous Serpent. This is the one up here that they have affected, which is here. they've altered it so it's now weapon and spell damage and crit chance, so a magical build can successfully use it anyway, but they just get an inflated 2k stamina. But now you don't get the 2k stamina, now they get flat bonuses towards it and everything else you do. So, what they've done here is reduce the damage on hit of the set by 92%, which is substantial. But it now always, get this, for the Infinite Archive people, always applies poisonous status effect rather than having a 10% base chance to do so. Oh dear. This set no longer activates the 1 second global cooldown for other instant damage proc sets, as it primarily deals damage over time. So you can fire it as much as you fucking like. They should make Warhorn 10 times louder so you can hear it at the moon. You shit. What are you doing on the moon waiting for Warhorn anyway? Don't you know it's tea time? This set no longer read that one already. Fix an issue where the set would ignore its requirements to activate with any heavy attack. Fix an issue where this set could trigger off of any poison damage effect rather than only poison damage abilities as the tooltip stated. So yes, you need a poison ability on the target in order for you to guarantee the proc. Before it was poison effects, so it didn't have to be an actual ability. It could be from anywhere. Waiting for the execute phase. Like this, just sitting there looking at your watch. This felt like a weaker version of Way of Fire, dealing the same damage with more requirements. It was. You have to wait for an ability, then you have to light or heavy, and then it's just one thing staggered on top of it on something else. It's quite a difficult to use set if you're not paying attention to it. You have to manually time stuff all the time. As such, we're doing a very mild rework to have this set focus on uptime of the poison status effect in hopes that it has more unique interplay with passives and other sets. Overall, these adjustments will increase this set's damage potential for builds that had a lower uptime on poisoned. So, you know when you say there's no best? Well, there isn't. The game is full of billions of possibilities, and God knows where you can fucking go with it. Before anyone tries to conflict with that, that is a fact. However, if you were to arguably put this into a sentence where you would say which class would be best with this set, are we talking about the flat stats or the proc? If we're talking about the flat stats, that contributes to the proc. So bear in mind, your overall build will determine the outcome before anything else. But considering you're using exactly the same stats on exactly the same 2 characters and 2 classes or 7 classes, technically, this one will be stronger on a Dragon Knight if those variables are the same side by side. Because the Dragon Knight gets higher poison status than anybody else in the game. So, that's a tricky one. Technically speaking, you could use it on anything. You could make a Templar make it stronger than a DK. But if the 2 stats of the 2 classes were identical, this would be stronger on a Dragon Knight. That is a fact. Class sets. Gardener of Seasons. Fix an issue where this set's application of minor heroism would cause the sound effects to play each application rather than only when it was applied to targets who did not already have minor heroism. I kind of like that. Shit. Put Atronach in the chat. So that is the updated Warden tank build from years and years ago. DK best? Nope. But that proc would be better on that class if the 2 stats were the same. Pale. You look more intelligent if you talk less. Soul Cleaver. This set now increases the potency of your siphoning abilities by up to 21%, up from 18. No side effects. None. Did you see that? I was waiting for that. I was waiting for, but your skills will now cost X, Y, and Z more. Nope. Look at this. This set now increases the potency of siphoning abilities by 21% instead of 18. Now, that doesn't underline any balance whatsoever. You know, nerf is when they unnecessarily nuke something and they don't explain why. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just, nah, lower, fuck off. And a buff is when they go, here's some free shit. This is some free shit. There's no negative. Fair enough, I'll take it. They didn't even say why. They're just like, oh, by the way, buff Nightblade set by Wrathstone. This set now stacks. Now lasts 15 seconds up from 10. Now, I'm not going to spoil what has been going on in the background with that particular set, but that is a fucking game changer. I've managed to make it so that fires very, very fast. Like, almost off cooldown. I can now reel some of that back, still keep the same amount of uptime, and add some power to it. That got buffed too. Fucking fantastic. So the Warden stuff got a sound removed, even though it was awesome. The Nightblade set got buffed, and the Templar set got buffed. Love it. I mean, to be fair, the reason they would have buffed this, even though they didn't say it, is because most people couldn't figure out how to fucking use it. That's pretty cool. Oh, no Modern Storm buffs. It's a shame. What's wrong with it? What was wrong with these? That one is tricky for people to maintain unless you're built very, very specifically, but then you're supposed to build specifically because it's for a specific skill line. I'm not mad. New dungeon sets. Let's go. Light set. Offensive pen, crit chance, weapon and spell damage. Dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack, place an electric charge on yourself and below your enemy. After 1 second, both charges explode in 4-meter radius, each dealing shock damage to enemies hit. This effect can happen once every 6 and scales off of your highest weapon and spell damage. So basically, if you're using heavies and skills, you're looking at every 2 or 3 heavy attacks. Basically every 3. Unless you use skills in between, so you can do it every 2. That is, you blow them up, you blow you up. So wherever either of you stand, you both go pop. That could be tactically used in quite a sneaky way. I love not been a change. It was a great set. 18 to 21 seems minor, but it's a huge change. Depends on which way you look at it. I mean, it's a 3% increase overall for those particular skills. Depending on how you're scaled already, as far as your stats are concerned, that can be very, very dramatic or very, very shit. If you're, let's for argument's sake, say you're on the dramatic side of things, people will go mad for a 3 to 5% increase to any damage. So that will add quite a bit. Love your build videos. Can't wait to see the revisions and updates on them after this one. Ryan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, and thank you very much indeed. Medium, weapon and spell damage, offensive pen. While in combat, casts an ability that leaves an area of effect on the ground. Creates a 6-meter spike vortex that deals physical damage over 5 seconds. So AoE 6 meters, then damage over time for 5 seconds while inside of it. After 5 seconds, enemies within the vortex are dealt additional physical damage for over 5 seconds, so double dot. This effect can happen once every 15. 10 seconds up, 5 seconds down. Scales off your highest offensive stats, basically. Weapon or spell damage. Okay. So we'll have to see how much damage it actually does, because we don't have any numbers for that, and that will depend on your build, obviously. But physical damage over time. Enemies left inside it get extra damage over time. So if they don't move, they're fucked. Bro Tankle buffed. Yeah, a little bit. She's got a personal build video from me from a Patreon pack, and it uses that particular set. So her Nightblade just got buffed. If it goes to live. Disclaimer. Next one. Heal and Taken. Extra health, extra stam. Blocking 3 attacks within 10 seconds. Easy peasy. Creates an 8-meter wind shield at your feet for 10 seconds. Okay. Enemies within the area gain minor brittle, increasing their critical damage taken by 10%. While you are within the area, you gain major protection, reducing the damage you take by 10%. Any effect can happen every 7 seconds. You can only have 1 active wind at a time. So, perma brittle, perma major protection? Wow. I mean, obviously against a boss, there might be slower attacks, but 1 add or a big pull? 8-meter radius is fucking large. And minor brittle on tap without having to do all the backflips to try and apply a status effect from it. This is fucking nuts. Off to Samsung, thanks for the stream. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. That is a very, very cool set. Not bad at all. Cool as in ice stuff. No, I wasn't trying to mess with that. But, moving on. That is kind of cool. We'll have to test it. When you take damage, gain 1 random effect for 6 seconds. Gain... What? Okay, before I go any further, how many people have played the Battleground Jester? When you take damage, gain 1 random effect for 6 seconds. Minor protection, a damage shield, a heal over time every 2 seconds, or a heal over time. The heal over time scales over your maximum health as well, and it can occur once every 4.5. So, 6k damage shield, heal over time, and minor protection. Just for getting hit. This, by the way, if it was minor protection, a damage shield, or heal over time, and that procs like once every 6 seconds and rotates, on almost a Mortal Warrior, that is absolutely fucking filthy. You just won't fucking die. But the Battleground Jester, that now makes you tankier. That motherfucker can already crack 80k resistances. We're getting to that, by the way. You're gonna like this. Thank you for the stream. I'm staying here, right? Next, magic recovery, maximum magic, maximum magic. While in combat, casting an ability that leaves an effect on the ground creates an 8-meter griffin's nest for 10 seconds. Remember, 8-meter radius is actually pretty big as far as AoE is concerned. You and group members inside the nest gain magicka and stam recovery. The first time you or a group member leaves the nest, they gain minor courage for 10 seconds, increasing their weapon and spell damage. So, in the nest, you get loads of recovery, and when you leave the nest, you gain courage. That's actually kind of cool. Although the buff itself is probably not needed because we've got it from other sets, blah, blah, blah. That is another way and a cool way of adding kind of a story to a set. That is interesting. Noxus Boulder. Dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack creates a 3-meter poison boulder. After 1.2 seconds, the boulder rolls forward, Indiana Jones style, dealing poison damage to the first enemy hit and creating a 6-meter area of effect poison for 5 seconds, dealing poison damage and applying the poison status effect each second to enemies inside. This effect can occur once every 20 and scales off your highest weapon or spell damage. So this one has a very long cooldown but can fire off of your heavy. Then you've got this other one up here which will fire off of your heavies once every 6 seconds. So technically, where the fuck has it gone? Over here somewhere. Technically, you could stack the two together and one would just fire eventually and the other one would just fire all the time. So that's a very unique skill set or unique visual, I guess. That would be like a rolling boulder. However, we'll have to see how much damage it actually does, because the damage would have to be substantial in order for that 20-second cooldown to be valid. Like once every 20 seconds from a heavy, that's a lot to track. You'll fuck that up. And it's also skew if versus off balance with the 15 seconds down and 7 seconds up. So a little bit awkward. You've got an awkward timer there. We'll have to see. That needs to be high damage in order for that to count. Failing that, I mean, I'm sure they'll adjust it. Heavy stuff. Heroic Unity. Stamina, health, and health. Activating a synergy gives you and up to 3 group members within 12 meters major heroism for 6 seconds, giving you ulti every 1.5 seconds. This effect can occur once every second. So as long as you're actively taking synergies, your group has got constant major heroism. Technically speaking, the bash set that is on Malcolm, oh my god, forgotten what the fuck it's called. Not Rush. What the fuck is it called? Drake's Rush. That one is already providing this. The stats on the set are obviously different, but it's already providing this buff. So I guess it's a different way to do so, but we'll have to see where that goes. I mean, you could technically put that on something other than a tank, because you don't have to sit there and block and bash. Not to say you can't do that with another role anyway, but that is a little bit same. But I mean, 1 second cooldown means there are less opportunities for gaps if you're firing lots of synergies within your group. So technically, if you are machine gun firing synergies in your group and you've taken advantage of like full-on undaunted shit, just shit tons of synergies, and there's like 30 in the game, that could give you 100% uptime. But again, you're not likely to do that in a 4-person group, so yeah, I mean, it's tricky. You could get away with 4 synergies in your group and just stagger them very carefully, and you'll have 100% uptime on it, but who knows what people do with it. We'll see. Again, only for 4-player though. You and 3 other group members. Adding that to a full group would be banging, but no. A little more health on that than Drake's Rush. Yeah, this is a little bit more. That's what I said. This is a little bit different. Monster Mask. Weapon and spell damage. While in combat, cast an ability that leaves an effect on the ground, summons a tentacle at the target's location. After 2 seconds, a tentacle swings wildly in a 5-meter radius. Not that large, but cool effect, I guess. Dealing physical damage and stunning up to 6 enemies for 3 seconds. So basically, Celestrix with a tentacle. Enemies immune to stun take significantly more physical damage instead. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds and scale out of highest weapon or spell damage. So a tentacle that comes out the ground, slaps the shit out of stuff, it gets stunned, but if it can't be stunned, it takes more damage. So it's a boss killer. So Hydroid from Warframe in ESO. Light set. Magicka recovery, maximum magicka. When you cleanse a negative effect of yourself or an ally, restore 13 ultimate to the target. This can happen once every 9 seconds. That is actually not too fucking bad. So if people are actively taking your cleanse synergies, or you are casting purge every so often, at least once every 9 seconds, you will give people fucking ulti. That is absolutely fucking crazy. It's not quite as strong as feed, but if you had that in the room as well, disgusting. Tentacle. Why have people always got a thing about tentacles? You know those little sucker things that got claws in them, right? They hurt. They will hurt you muchly. Medium set. Stamina, weapon and spell damage. Get ready for this. Remember when I said earlier about Battleground Jester? And how it can crack like 80-90 resistances? 80-90k resistances for the sake of a buffer on top of its base? Get ready for this. Stamina, weapon and spell damage. Gain 100,000 offensive pen. And reduce your damage done by 46%. Now, that 46% is a lot. Okay, that's a huge reduction to damage. However, if you went up against the Battleground Jester, you would need about 50 or 60 pen debuffing in order to remove any amount of resistances to start creeping into his cap. He's still going to take 50% mitigation bonus all the time. If you have this, he's got no resist left. No matter which state it's in, he's got none. So instead of him always having 50% mitigation, you are going to do some. You're actually doing something. This, I think, is probably a little high for everyday use, though. Infinite Archive, obviously, at much, much later arcs, sure. In everyday PvE scenarios, I mean, that's the guarantee that pen is not an issue anymore. But your flat damage is horrendously suffered. You will have to buffer that with so many different increase to damage sets to make that make sense. And that might negatively impact that anyway, depending on which way round it calculates it. So that's a tricky one. PvP, though, while it's not going to do a huge amount of damage, it's going to do more damage than you can currently do to a tank. That's a tank killer. All those big, chunky, overcap resistance people that you can't do extra for, you are going to do more than you normally would. It's fucking weird. They've done it on purpose. So instead of hitting a 50% cap, you are now doing guaranteed 4% extra. It's fucking weird. I'm surprised they didn't put developers' notes for that so they further explained it, but mess with it. You'll see. Healing taken, health, and armor. When you break free, gain 100% increased movement speed for 7 seconds. This effect can occur once every 28. So if you mix that with cowardice, or the coward set, you basically get stunned, break free, run like fuck and can't get hurt. It's the I'm a complete puss set. Dear oh dear. Fixing issues where various companions' voice lines are responsible in response to tribute matches were missing. Death to all crud mabs. Basically, yeah. We've got quest improvements. We've got some bits and pieces for Overland, some more quests. I'm not going to read these individually because they are very subjective, and if you are looking for quest fixes yourself, out of the several thousand that exist, you might find the one you're looking for. Fixing improvements. Chubloons in the ice flurries of Northern Rothgar have moved to the shoreline to prevent cases where you could get stuck under the ice. Oh shit, okay. If you critical charge them. So apparently people have been crit rushing penguins. And they got stuck for it. I mean, surely instead of a fix, you could just call that karma. I mean, who crit rushes a fucking penguin? Me. More quests. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Fixes for PvP stuff. Correct audio cue will now play at the end of a battleground match that consists of a single round. Rune-bound tomes for the battleground merchant to now properly bind on pickup. This will affect any rune-bound tomes that have been placed in the guild banks or guild traders. The items will bind to the first player to remove these from the locations. So that's a fix, but once you move them the first time, obviously that's going to affect it. Additional flag locations have been added to Motorcar in Crazy King Battlegrounds. Integrated missing battleground voiceover for English Orc female and Red Guard female. General art asset fixes in multiple battleground maps have been addressed. You punch rabbits. I do. This is true. Exploration itemization. Again, more basic stuff we're not going to go over. Furnishings. These you can't see, but if it affects you, obviously the patch notes are live on the forum, so you can go see them. I don't have a link for it. Maybe one of the mods do. Nice eye off to bed. Early start. Some food stuff there. Some good stuff there, though. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I am leaving very soon as well. This is a short stream today because I have to read the patch notes. I have had flu for the last fucking 4 or 5 days. Ever since my fucking birthday, actually. Which fucking wrecked me. Tony's got the flu as well. We've got loads of stuff to do. And reading this out like this while I'm tanked up on fucking Lemsip is already enough. But you will see stuff from PTS over the next few weeks, obviously. And you'll see stuff in Patreon Discord if you've got the Secret Ninja Pack. So keep an eye out for that, just in case. Not going to read that. Not because I'm not interested, but because it's, again, subjective. If you're looking for specific quests and stuff, then it's all in there. Pleasure Imperial Fragment Collector achievement showing up as completed, but with partial progress. We'll have it updated. General fixes. Companion equipment silhouette no longer randomly appears as your player character's race instead of companion's race. Various quest breadcrumb issues. You should now be reprompted to download language packs whenever they are not detected in game files for PS4 or PS5. Added a quit option to the main menu in the gamepad UI on PC. Let me just fucking press escape and get out anyway. Apparently it's for people that play PC but don't have a keyboard. The mount training ready icon on the keyboard stat page now correctly displays its tooltip. There's a lot. Minor fixes here and there that cause people issues, especially with gamepad UI apparently. Which obviously has to be addressed because with the add-ons being added, they have to check a lot of console stuff because the gamepad UI is basically that. For those that didn't already know that, the console version of ESO is the PC ESO game on a different platform with just gamepad mode activated. It just changes the UI and the button inputs. That's it. Game's the same. I don't know how you do it, honestly. I'm sitting in the bathroom dying to cough and I don't have to speak. Yeah, indeed. You can cough. No one's going to hear it. Gamepad infantry no longer changes categories when destroying the last item in the category. Minor fixes that are annoying. Loads of it. I think that's it. Default roles of group finalists and now reset each time a group category is changed. That is me done. That is a relatively short patch reading for the most part. And the reason is, remember when they said that there's a 3 not gonna cough and all sick in your background? You'll be fine. Don't try and hold it in. If you need to cough, cough. No one's gonna hear it unless you're close enough. Like the poison version of Flame Blossom, pretty much. We had 3 years worth of combat changes. They noted this in the first place. People made a fucking huge fuss about it because they heard it but didn't listen. Took them 3 years worth of patches to get them to where they needed to be. Now, there are still going to be adjustments over time. Any MMO is constantly going to have adjustments. We have to adapt. We have to keep up. And obviously, technology changes, blah, 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 blah. But they said once they get into a certain point, they won't have too many drastic changes to the classes because they'll be standardized, if you like, as to where they kind of led to, where they wanted them to be. And that is why this here, a patch that just has a couple dungeons and a load of quality of life stuff, this is the class stuff. Just this. Not a single change, just some fixes. And that was what their goal was. Their goal wasn't to have 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 pages worth of patch notes every single update, giving you loads and loads of changes. They had to implement them bit by bit by bit. So yeah, it might have felt like, oh, more changes, more changes. They made it clear that that was going to happen. And now we're here. Nothing drastic has to change and we can start moving fucking forward. Pretty good. Obviously, I'm going to be finishing the stream quite early. Watch some guy complain about class nerfs. Fuck them. Honestly, fuck them. There's no point in listening to people like that. They're a waste of fucking time. They don't know what they're talking about and they want to complain for the sake of complaining. Happens every single patch. 45 times now they've been doing that. Fuck them. If you want to see the patch notes, obviously there will be a link for this. Let me get the link for you, actually, just in case you want to read them yourself. I've got them on Discord, actually, under the news tab. Where are you? ESO News. Bear with me. Cut. I'll put this on YouTube as well, so those of you watching YouTube or watching it back, it will be there. That is the page for the patch notes. So you can reread as much as you want, get your head around it. The PTS should be live, but I can't confirm because I haven't honestly checked, and I haven't even downloaded it myself yet. But I will be doing that stuff behind the scenes, because doing it on stream is quite tricky, because people try to do a job for you and trying to prod you around the room and tell you to do this, do this, do this. It's a lot easier for me to concentrate on all the different things and moving parts and numbers and shit that are going on if I'm on my own. Thanks for reading and giving your thoughts. You are most welcome. People, if you're not following on YouTube or following on Twitch, hit those buttons. They are free. Furthermore, if you want to help support outside the channel, there are some links in the info section for Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the website, zonogaming.com, Throne, Buy Me a Coffee, and merch. Patreon is fucking booming right now, by the way. We've got multiple things going on for some of the lower perks, including early access to build videos, which are coming very soon, obviously, with the new changes. There's no major class stuff, so bang, and I can get on with it. And we've got now three current end servers, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and one ARC server that is cross-platform. They are private for Patreon supporters only of that perk, and they are 24/7 roleplay PvP. So people are generally quite nice, but if you want to fight each other, you can. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think